guys, welcome to Ask Games and Me. So we're trying this for the first time, bear with us, but you know, we're going to go through all your questions right now. We have basically 5 of the core team. So we got Ted.
How's it going?
We got CK. And we got Mark. And we got Chris. So alright, let's jump right on in. So this is by Zephyr from the forums. He says, I asked one like this in the forums as well. How did you become a gamer? So what was your experience back in the day?
Chris and I share a similar story growing up. Commodore 64.
Yeah.
I was 2 years old. Do you remember LOAD, comma 8, comma 1?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was back when you had to know. It wasn't just to put it in and start.
You gotta install the game or something?
No, there was no hard drive to install too.
Oh.
No, yeah.
Floppy
That's
disk?
true, floppy.
Yeah.
Floppy disk, frozen drive, wait 5 minutes.
Holy shit. How about you, CK?
I've said this on the forums. I was about 3 or 4. My grandfather had a regular Nintendo, and he used to play Super Mario Brothers all the time, or Tetris or golf. And I guess one day I was just asking him if I could try, and you know.
Okay, cool. How about you, Mark?
I was a little bit older than that, but it was with the Nintendo at my cousin's house. And for the longest time, I thought it was in black and white because it was plugged into a black and white TV.
Oh.
And imagine the shock I had when they plugged into a color TV.
Holy shit. So my experience was that my grandma actually used to run like an arcade business.
Nice.
So that's kind of like my gateway drug. And then right after that, like my biological dad basically introduced me to the Famicom. And the first game I ever played was Punch-Out. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. So that was a good start. Alright, so let's move on. So this is from the Final Highlander on YouTube. He says, first of all, I love your videos. I think your focus on community is both commendable and rare amongst gamers because we're stereotyped as some sort of antisocial group for some reason. Your community spirit even cooks an email for me. Thank you very much, Final Highlander. So let's get on to your question. Not going to read all this because of time, but we did read this before. What is your opinion on how the gaming industry has grown since the early 90s, and has the quality of games in general changed both technically and in terms of creativity?
Oh, it's gotten a hell of a lot better. Everyone thinks, oh, it's not as good as it used to be. Kids, you remember the game Socks the Cat, Rocks the Hill? It was stuff like Chuck Rock. Have you forgotten how bad it used to be?
It's not just that. There were just too many technical limitations back then. You're better off writing a book than you were making a video.
Remember the game on the NES, Time Lord by Milton Bradley? It was terrible!
I think what's happened is that the overall quality of games has gotten better, but I think maybe, like he's saying earlier, the innovative stuff is still around, but maybe it's kind of being pushed to the sidelines, whereas maybe back in 1990 there were more... because everything was new, so there were a lot of IPs and weirder ideas. Because the budgets were lower, people were more willing to take chances.
I think everything's just overshadowed by technology and flash and bang and stuff like that. So any innovation you come up with, you've got to either have flashy graphics or it's overshadowed by flashy graphics.
Okay. Alright, so that's answered. Let's move on. So somebody is asking, Zombot Mask is actually asking, what is the next technological step in gaming?
3 simple words. Set-top boxes.
Digital downloads?
It's all going to be, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be transferred to where it's going to be an entertainment system, not a gaming system.
I see.
Yeah, I think we're kind of heading in that direction. A lot of digital downloads and...
Okay. I guess that's all we have to say about that. Alright, this is by Baby Mario Luigi 1 from YouTube. If any of you were to meet the star of Mirror's Edge, Faith, what would you say to her?
Where's my stuff?
Can I have your autograph, Lucy Luke?
I'll probably say the same thing.
Alright, anybody else? None?
You're running on buildings. What's wrong with you?
Okay, and then you had a follow-up question. What's your favorite NES game? Ninja Gaiden 2 for me.
Ooh, I was going to... Mega Man 3. Long story, but basically it was at the Nintendo thing in Oakland in 1990.
That is a good choice, though, because you can actually not only fight the Mega Man 3 bosses, but also Mega Man 2.
Yeah, because I was in love with Mega Man 2. Oh man, long story, but I'll just defer.
I go with Bionic Commando.
Of course.
Double Dragon 2.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Dragon Warrior 4, because I can still play that game today.
Ah, yeah, that's a good one. Alright, Next is AlKiller1992. He says, which of the consoles is better? PS3, Xbox 360, or Wii? This has a context. My friend wants to buy a console, but which one do I advise? Because I don't want to advise him the wrong console. I think we talked about this earlier.
Yeah, make sure you just buy the same console so you can play with each other. But beyond that, I don't have a personal preference. They're all good.
I don't think anybody here at Games and Me has any personal preference, but yeah, I agree with Ted. Just advise him whatever console you guys are all on.
Yeah.
Because if you guys get separated and stuff, you don't want to kind of single that one guy out that has a separate console, you know?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So, alright, so let's move on. There's a question by Boy Scout Zach 315. I don't have his YouTube name, so I'm sorry about that. If you play Brawl, which character do you fight with? I don't play Brawl.
I'm just using Ice Climber since I used them back in Melee days.
Okay.
Wolf.
I've always used Samus in all the Smash Brothers games.
Well, if I'm playing casually, I guess the Ice Climber dudes, because they're really cool.
I haven't played that in a long time.
Chris?
No, I don't really care. Probably Kirby.
Okay.
Brawl's not Street Fighter.
Snap. Okay, I got like a bunch of questions here. We got 4 minutes left. Shintai123 says, what is the general consensus of the Wii? Do you guys think it's alright, disappointed, mixed
I
feelings?
feel like there's a promise that everything was going to be motion control 1-to-1. The promise of Wii Sports has not yet been fulfilled, and there are good games, though.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's making a lot of money because that encourages Nintendo to
Make a lot of money?
and also to keep going with their regular franchises whenever they want to get back to them. And you know, I'd hate to see Nintendo go.
Okay. Mark?
And on the flip side, I don't have a Wii, but I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything by not having it.
Alright. Kind of feel... Well, I have a Wii, and there's some choice games on there. Not really... I can't really say, like, oh, you can... Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there that I would probably recommend, because it's probably mostly the games from the Virtual Console.
Yeah.
Like, you know. How about you, Chris?
It's a good console. I don't have one, but I mean it sells, so it can't be that bad.
Okay, cool. And then Shintai123 had another question. I'm pretty sure recently one of you guys started playing Persona 4 and said it's one of the best games you ever played. Now I ask you, because of this, do you think you're more inclined to buy games simply because they're made by Atlas, or basically like anything with Shin Megami Tensei in it?
I would say both.
Yes, for both, for me too.
Especially the former, because I think part of the reason I liked Persona 4 was the localization job, and Legacy of East proved to me that Atlas is consistent with that on all their games.
You think CK speaks for everyone?
A little bit. I just have no idea of Atlas's other titles, so I'm just gonna stick with the Persona series.
Arcana Heart. That game's awesome. Don't hate.
Okay. All right, Chris.
Well, I'll start 4 sooner or later.
Yeah.
So.
And by the way, Shintai, you were wrong on that. There are actually 3 people going through Persona 4 right now. Actually, going to be 4 by the end of the
I
day.
also have Persona 4, actually. I'll
There
get
you
into
go.
that sometime. I'm actually working through Persona 3.
If you want to count Vanessa, that's 6. So, all right.
All of us.
This is another question by Shintai123. Vanessa, do you think I'm cute? Well, since Vanessa isn't here, you guys think Shintai123 is cute?
Do you have $20?
I think that speaks for everybody here.
Next question.
This is already asked by somebody else. It's the one where, you know, what kind of features do you think will differentiate each of the consoles and stuff like that. I think in general it would be across the board as opposed to just one doing it. So Forest Lock says, what do you think the Xbox 360's failure rate? Do you think they fixed it? Do you think they solved the problem with the new chipsets?
Yes, and now they have a new problem.
What?
The E74 thing.
What's the problem?
Basically it has something to do with one of the graphics chips getting unsoldered or coming loose, and it's a whole new set of problems. Basically...
So it's the same airflow problem.
Yeah.
No, it is not the same airflow problem, but it's something to do with the new architecture. Basically, stomp one fire, another comes out.
Ooh, ouch. Okay, and the last question that Forest Lock has for me is, what is your favorite RPG in the PS2 era? Now, I have to answer this with a disclaimer. There was a time when I wasn't playing Japanese RPGs on the PlayStation 2. There was a period after X2, which I was thoroughly disappointed with, and then basically a period where Persona 4 came out that I didn't really dwell on any sort of Japanese RPGs. So you can kind of say that I'm playing catch-up, but there's another reason to that, and that was because I was in college. So I really didn't have the money. I wasn't at work or anything like that. I felt like I needed to finish college in order to make more money to buy all these games and start Games and Me. Valid question, right? So there you go. As far as my favorite RPG, Persona 4.
Persona 4.
Yep. All right, so last question. Retrocalypse said, have you ever called out of work to play a game? If so, which game was it? I
No.
say no.
No.
Well, there you go, folks. That's basically Ask Games and Me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, even though it was pretty fast. But, yeah, thanks for watching.